everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Queen94. Week 5 provided us with quite some entertaining games, and I also think that Week 5 presented us with a fair share of questions as well. Is Brock Purdy the best quarterback in the NFC, or possibly the NFL? What exactly does that make Patrick Mahomes? Has the media hype surrounding Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's romance gone far enough? I think so. Are the Cowboys frauds? Who is to blame for the Broncos' shortcomings? Sean Payton or Russell Wilson? Is Bill Belichick really useless without Tom Brady? Well, with that said, we've got a game to break down, so without further ado, I say we go ahead and do that. Let's talk Saints at Patriots. So, in the first quarter, the Saints would get the ball to start and go downfield on their opening drive. A sack ends the drive, forcing the Saints to punt with 11-19. The Patriots then would be forced to punt on their opening drive. The Patriots would get the ball, and Tyrann Mathieu would get a 27-yard pick six, picking off Mac Jones, putting the Saints on the board, making it a 7-0 game with 7:02 left to go. Mac Jones goes long for Douglas, and a personal foul gives the Patriots an additional 15 that puts them in Saints territory. The Patriots would attempt a 48-yard field goal by Ryland, and Ryland would miss wide left. Carr would go long and hit Thomas for a 26-yard pass. Carr would then hit Shaheed for the 25-yard pickup and put the Saints in the red zone. The Saints would lead the Patriots 7-0. Second quarter, Kamara would get the 2-yard score, making it a 14-0 game early in the second. Saints would get the ball back after a Patriots punt, and a Miller run would put the Saints in field goal range. Hill would stiff arm his way to another Saints first down to keep the chains moving. Carr hits Olave in the end zone for the score to make it a 21-0 game. At 10:47, Carr would hit Chris Olave for another pass, but the pass would be ruled out of bounds. Saints would be forced to punt. The Patriots would go hurry-up offense after the 2-minute warning. Mac Jones would get sacked by Cameron Jordan with 33 seconds left. Granderson would get another sack off Mac Jones with 18 seconds to go. Saints lead Patriots 21-0 at halftime. Third quarter, the Patriots get the ball to start. On 3rd and 1, Stevenson fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by the Saints with 14:04. Carr is sacked on 3rd and 10. Groupie would nail a 54-yard field goal with 11:41 to make it a 24-0 game. Carr would throw a 13-yard pass to Thomas to keep another Saints drive alive. Carr throws an interception, but it's ruled incomplete. Mac Jones throws to Montgomery, but the pass is deflected and ends up in Warner's arms for the interception with 1:08 left to go. The Saints would lead the Patriots 24-0 to end the third. Fourth quarter, Carr throws a quick pass to Kamara, who stays in bound for a 12-yard gain, putting the Saints at 1st and goal. Carr throws a shovel pass to Foster Monroe, who pushes his way into the end zone, making it a 31-0 game. With 13:03, Mac Jones is benched for Bailey Zappi. Carr goes long for Olave, but it would be dropped. The Saints would attempt a 53-yard field goal with Groupie, as he would knock it through, making it a 34-0 game with 5:47 left to go. The Patriots would turn it over in downs. Jameis Winston would come in for Carr and take the knee. The Saints would beat the Patriots 34-0. Well, what can I say? I like to think that for the most part I'm a pretty humble person. I don't really like to toot my own horn, but I don't get many opportunities in life to say, I told you so. So please allow me to gloat just a little bit, because I did say that if the Saints did all of these things, then all of the things I predicted, then we were going to win the game. I feel like I nailed this game minus the shutout. I did not see a shutout, but I did say that if the Saints scored more than 20 points, it would be enough to win. I said if we ran the ball more, we'd have success. Kamara did just that, and he broke a record, becoming the all-time leader in touchdowns in franchise history, surpassing my guy, Marcus Colston. So congratulations to him on that. Derek Carr looked a lot better than he did last week. The O-line gave him the protection he needed. The only thing that the Saints really failed on, in my honest opinion, and I think this is something we can all agree on, are those penalties, which the Saints have yet to clean up time and time again. So 12 penalties for 86 yards is still a disappointment. The play calling was better, but I think it was much better in the first half than it was in the second. I do still think that P and DA are both on the chopping block, but it was enough to secure their job for another week. Which I don't like the idea of coaches doing just enough to get by or scrape by another week. I think that shows just a lack of consistency and a lack of discipline on their part. But it was much better than it actually had been all season. Going back to Carr, it was really great to see him back in action, though I'm sure that that arm is still bothering him. There were missed opportunities and some over and under throws, but I can see where Carr's heart is at, and I know where he wants to be. He's making a conscious effort to be a part of this team and to make a statement for this team. 2 touchdowns, 183 yards, and 1 interception that wasn't called, clearly was, but I don't feel bad about it, honestly. His number 1 target was Michael Thomas, who had 65 yards. Shaheed had 28, and Olave had 12, but a touchdown. So on paper, those are lackluster numbers. But when you shut out a team, those numbers are just numbers, right? This game really showcased, at least in my opinion, what the Saints are capable of doing on offense. Now, yes, as I said, the numbers on paper don't look good, and we could not have done this without the defense, but I think that this says more about the Saints, that if the Saints sustain these long drives and keep the other team off the field, dominate time of possession, which we did in this game, stay in sync, find rhythms, connect with receivers, don't turn the ball over, and find an even balance of runs to receptions, this team is capable of building on what they already have. So no complaints on offense this week, other than stop with the dumb penalties, please. I beg of you. So yes, the game started off slow, like everyone was asleep, and my man Graham couldn't catch a cold if you gave it to him, but he's nice to look at. And he definitely benefits, and I feel like everybody benefits from his veteran leadership. Either way, great job by the offense. Now let's talk about the real heroes, which is the defense. They say that not all heroes wear capes, but if you could give them capes, could you please give one to Granderson, the Honey Badger, who finally stepped up for us, and Cameron Jordan, who had his first sack of the season. This defense completely disrupted the Patriots' game plan, and the Patriots had no answers for it whatsoever. I mentioned going into this game that the Patriots were not a good team, and they didn't scare me the least bit. I mentioned in some sense that the Patriots were terrible coming off that game against Dallas. I don't think highly of Mac Jones. I actually think that he's a BUST, but that's my honest opinion. But someone asked, does this say more about the Saints, or are the Patriots just that bad? I think both can be true in this case. The Patriots are bad, but I don't think that they're that bad where even an average team like the Saints could keep them scoreless. This is who the defense can be if they do what they're supposed to. 2 interceptions off Mac Jones, which I said would be very easy to do. Got sacks to keep them out of field goal range at the end of the first half. 45 yards to running back combined. Their leading receiver, Bourne, had 43 yards. And what more can you say? I think that this does say more about the Saints because we know what this defense is capable of. And when everyone stays committed to the task at hand, then they're capable of doing their jobs. The Patriots are bad, but home field advantage and 1-point favorites? Home field advantage. I told you that that was only home field advantage. Never listen to Vegas. I know that I talked a big game because this game has a lot of sentimental value to me, and I went into detail about that last week. I don't really want to be redundant and talk about it again. But there's a lot of emotion for me when these two teams meet, and I'm happy that the Saints won, of course. It's a bittersweet moment, and it's nice to have bragging rights. But either way, a fantastic effort by the Saints. And shout out to my guy Groupie for winning Player of the Week. He deserved it, and a game that was pretty much unwinnable for the Patriots was great practice for him when he knocked a 54 and 53 yarder, so good for him. As for the New England Patriots, so, Saints and Texans. Little unknown fact about this matchup. This matchup was the first Saints game I ever attended. Yes, I have been to a Saints game in Houston. The year was 2015, and I had just undergone a major surgery in the summer. So as a reward for surviving the major surgery, my aunt, a Texans fan, and I drove 8+ hours to Houston to attend this game. I was even wearing this shirt that I'm wearing right now, so I did not even have a jersey. I might have had a Graham jersey, but it was 2015, so that was the year he got traded to Seattle. So what use was it going to do me, or what purpose was it going to serve me? Either way, the final score was 6-24. My first Saints game, Drew Brees is the quarterback, no touchdowns. Wow, just my luck. But a Saints game is a Saints game, and I can officially say that I've been to a Saints game in Houston, where we lost. Anyway, so, CJ Stroud. Cool name, by the way, but man, these newer guys just make me feel so old. I don't know who they are or where they come from. They're just there. I do think that I saw Stroud one time in a preseason game, and I think that might have been a preseason game which we were involved in, but don't quote me on it because I certainly do not remember. Anyway, what can I tell you about CJ Stroud? Nothing. Other than the fact that he has a 7-0 touchdown to interception ratio with a 98.4 passer rating. Now that should come in handy for my algebra class. Either way, the kid has talent. I'll give him that. So it will be interesting to see how the Texans' young offense matches up against our dominating defense post-Watson era. Now, I look at this Texans roster, and I see some familiar faces like Dalton Schultz, but the Saints' defense matches up well against tight ends. Robert Woods, Devin Singletary, and then I see some not-so-familiar faces, to say the least. Tank Bell, Nico Collins. So I can't really analyze this game to the fullest, but other than saying this will be an interesting matchup to watch, and it will be interesting to see if CJ Stroud continues to streak with no interceptions, or whether he will throw his first interception in this game. Now, Marcus May should be in this game. He should be coming back, so that will provide more depth in the backfield. I do like our chances of the Saints picking off Stroud. What they do with that will determine the outcome of this game. If our defense comes out rolling like they did last week against the Patriots, we should be able to keep the Texans off the field. The Saints just need to do what they do best, which is deflect passes, because the Texans are a passing offense, and stopping the run and blitzing and putting pressure on Stroud. If he's a running quarterback, that may pose a challenge for the Saints because the Saints do pretty poorly against running quarterbacks, but we'll see. I have the uttermost confidence in the Saints defense. So, offense. The Texans D have allowed running backs to get over 50-plus rushing yards. I think that's where the Saints should start off first by running the football with Kamara and even getting Miller involved. I think based on what I have seen from the Texans this season, the Saints should start off with a faster pace to keep up because the Texans have such a young team. So I anticipate this game will typically be more fast-paced than what we're used to seeing. The Saints got off to such a slow start last week, so we should find a way to amp it up just a little bit. Carr is starting to utilize more of his weapons, and he and Kamara have already established a connection, which is something that I highly anticipated seeing. If Carr stays focused, finds open receivers, and doesn't force balls into triple coverage, especially nearing the 2-minute warning, the Saints can win this matchup. So the keys to victory are simple. Get the ball rolling early, clean up those penalties. I highly stress that. Don't take sacks, protect the quarterback, get the turnovers, and capitalize on those turnovers. Run the football, get the tight ends involved, and have a good variety package ready to go. The Saints are 1-point favorites, whatever that means to anyone. It's probably not going to be an easy matchup like it was against New England, but the Saints showed that they can win on the road and dominate a team, to say the least. If the Saints get over 24 points in this game, then I think that they can win this game, and I do think that they can if they follow those set of rules. But time will tell. Either way, those are my thoughts on the game. I think that this is going to be a relatively shorter video than what I'm used to posting, but I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. But once again, my name is SHUTDOWN. I am also on Twitter under the name Jimmy Graham Superstar. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If not, it's cool, I totally understand. If you'd like to subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Just hit that button down below. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and go Saints. Who dat, baby? Okay, bye-bye.